to Christ-centered, community-focused, listener-supported gospel. 88.7 and 100.3 FM, Atlantic City WEHA. Don't forget to follow us on social media by searching We Have Gospel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Find out more at www.wehavegospel.com.
I know that it seems sometimes that no matter what you do, or no matter how hard you work, striving to make things better in your life, but for some reason you're not getting nowhere. Well, I want you to turn to the one next to you and tell him,
you tried your way, it didn't work, no. You put him second,
yeah,
and put you first.
Oh, yeah.
You trusted friends, thought they had your back. And every time you turn around, it seems you're under attack. Yeah. But turn to your neighbor and say, see, the devil is a lie. No, I'm not gonna die. It's okay to cry, cause he's by your side. You gotta stop that hating. I know you don't wanna hear it. Gotta fast and pray and listen to the Spirit, cause he's speaking to your heart right now. Just listen to the Spirit. Oh, hold up.
Listen.
You lost your job.
Hallelujah.
Your bills are due. And all the people you helped did not want to help you. I talked to my mother.
She said, pray about.
I talked to my pastor.
He said, pray about.
But I was so blinded by all my disaster. I wish you would just tell your neighbor, tell them for me. See, the devil is a liar. No, you're not gonna die. It's okay to cry, cause he's by your side. You gotta just listen.
Hey, it's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City, and now on FM Translator.
FM's 10th Anniversary Benefit Banquet, Saturday, September 14th, 2019 at 4 p.m. This is a black tie event honoring the WEHA recipients for community and outstanding service with keynote speaker, multi-Grammy and Stellar Award winner Bishop Marvin L. Sapp, and hosted by Ambassador Dr. Bobby Jones. A tribute to gospel music by South Jersey's local artists, live at the Winston Community Life Center, 353 South New Road, Pleasantville, New Jersey. Dinner served buffet style. Saturday, September 14th, 4 p.m. It's WEHA Gospel 88.7 and 100.3 FM's 10th Anniversary Benefit Banquet. Individual tickets $100 apiece. Contact the business office for further information on sponsorships and patron ads for the WEHA 10th Anniversary Souvenir Ad Book. Contact 609-641-8870. That's 609-641-8870. Or visit wehavegospel.com for more details.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily those of WEHA, Gospel 88.7 and 100.3 FM. We Have Gospel, Spread the Gospel Inc., or any of its sponsors. WEHA is a listener-supported radio station. To make a donation, call 609-641-8870. Visit our headquarters at 3 Canal Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Or log on to our website, wehavegospel.com.
We Have Gospel.
WEHA Community Bulletin Board, a public service of WEHA. This is what's going on in Efseekin. The Efseekin Cultural Arts will host its annual event from 6 until 8:30, July 10th on the lawn, 2 p.m. Tuesday at the main library. This year's theme, a universe of stories. Those who sign up for the program at the party will receive a free book. Those who register and meet the program's requirements are eligible for a day of free rides at the end of the summer party at the Steel Pier on August 20th. For more information, call 609-345-2269, extension 3050. In Brigantine, the Brigantine Historic Society, located at 3607 Atlantic Brigantine Boulevard, is open from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily. Admission is free. For the information, call 609-266-1158. Here's what's happening in Egg Harbor. Historic Society meets last Mondays of the month at 533 London Avenue. Free to the community. For the information, call 609-965-9073. Here's what's happening in Pleasantville. Kids ages 3 to 11 are invited to a free program from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. Tuesdays at the Atlantic County Library branch at 33 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. Aliens Escape from Earth will demonstrate scientific principles through age-appropriate stories and science projects. Younger children must be accompanied by an adult. For the information, the number is 609-641-1778. And happening in Tuckerton, On the Basics of Sex, rated PG-13, will be shown at 6 p.m. on Monday at the Ocean County Library branch at 380 Bay Avenue. It's free to attend, but registration is required. Here's the number for the information, 609-296-1470. If your church, school, social, public, or civic organization have an upcoming public service event, WEHA Community Bulletin Board is a great way to get the word out. Send us the information to WEHA Bulletin Board at gmail.com at least 2 weeks in advance, and we will spread the word.
All submissions will be aired at the discretion of WEHA.
If you just tuned in, you're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. I'm excited, but I'm always excited. I am live in the studio on today. I would like to thank my sponsors, the Hawks family businesses who have been serving our community for over 30 years. Beacon Hall, turning moments into memories, and Polis Development Corporation, who also sponsored Kentucky Avenue Renaissance. And I'm excited for all of my sponsors today. We have a wonderful program. I'm going to change the format just a little bit, because the guest that I have is a very busy woman, and she has another event that she has to be at, so we don't want to shortchange the interview that we're going to have on today. So we're going to start out with the interview, and then I will do the community announcements later. All right, so that's how we're going to do it. The guest I have today is in the person of Chairwoman Freeholder Amy Gatto, and she is the chairwoman for the Atlantic County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Big responsibilities and big shoes, but they have the right person on the job. Now, I can't say you don't know her, because she's everywhere. I thought I was everywhere, but when I look up, she's there too. Or she might beat me there, or I might be there, but we end up being in the same circles. I met free chairwoman Gatto maybe about 4 years ago at the Hamilton Township. I
think it was a little longer, Thelma. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I think it was a little longer, because you used to come, hang out at township committee meetings with us on occasion, and always having really good dialogue on topics and giving some good impact, some feedback and everything. So I think it's been a little longer than 4 years, my friend.
Yeah, I think so. And actually, how I started coming to the meetings, I lived in Atlantic City for most of my life, and I knew everybody. the mayor, the council people, everybody. And when I moved to Mays Landing, it's a different type of community. Mm-hmm. Everybody minds their own business. They go in their door, come out, shut it. And so I started asking the neighbors and the different one, who's the mayor? Mm-hmm. They said, I don't know. I said, who's the committee people? I don't know. So I went to the library in Mays Landing and said, when are the meetings?
Yeah.
And they told me, and that's how I started attending. I said, because if I'm going to live in the city, I at least need to know who's in charge of it.
And that's, I wish a lot of people would follow that example, because you're absolutely right. A lot of people don't know. And, Atlantic City and Mays Landing, Hamilton Township, form of government is very different. And that might be a little bit why. The mayor doesn't really run the day-to-day as they do in other towns. So it's a little bit different structure, but, you do have to take a few minutes to look around a little bit on the internet and say, what's going on and who's our leaders? And I'm glad that you shared that story, because it's pretty simple to go look that up nowadays. And I'm always happy to help people get that information together. And I think we're going to talk a little bit today about what the heck does a freeholder do, right?
Absolutely. So just in case people don't know who you are,
sure,
I do want you to say something about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm born and raised in Mays Landing. Very proud to have been to be living there. My family has a long history there. It's a town full of history, which is something that I love. Went to Oakrest, went to Widener University in Chester, Pennsylvania, and professionally, which a lot of people don't realize, politicians have day jobs. Professionally, I am a project manager. I'm working for a financial services company right now, and I've got some background working at Pico Energy, Atlantic Care, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield. So that's kind of what I did after college in the professional life. In the political life, when I was in grade school, we had a youth and government day, and I had the opportunity to shadow the mayor. Oh. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Didn't that make the newspaper?
It might have.
It might have.
Former Mayor Charlie Pritchard of Hamilton Township. He and the township committee at that time had started it. This is back in the mid '90s, and so I thought it was the coolest thing, and I thought, I want to get involved. I want to be that person one day.
Really?
Yeah. So I stayed involved in student government type activities. Came home from college, bought my first house, and decided I wanted to get involved in the community, and ran for school board in Hamilton Township. They have a K through 8 district and a Greater A regional high school district. I ran for the K through 8 and had the opportunity to serve on the school board for a couple of years. And in 2007, Joe Nichols, who at the time that I shadowed was the deputy mayor, the mayor was Lorraine Grenice. And Joe and I had struck up a friendship at that time, and some people may know his name. He was also a former freeholder in Atlantic County. Right. He called me up in 2007 and said, "Kid, I think it's time for you to run."
Oh, wow.
And at this point, I had been attending meetings like yourself, very interested in just kind of what's happening in our community, what's happening with our tax dollars. I was a new homeowner, so I was actually paying those tax dollars, And so he said, "I think it's time for you to run," and he said, "I'm going to run with you." And so at that time, we put together the Silva Gatto Nichols ticket with some people might know Roger Silva, and we ran in Hamilton Township and won. So I had the opportunity to serve on Township Committee in Hamilton Township for 9 years.
Wow.
And was honored to serve as the mayor for 2 in 2011, 2013. And the really interesting thing about that is I never set out for, to be the first of anything. But it just so happened I ended up being the youngest mayor in our history.
Wow.
And I was the 3rd female mayor, and the person who was the mayor prior to me that was a female was the female that I shadowed. So it had kind of come full circle at that point. So I had the opportunity to serve on Township Committee there, and then back in 2016, I had thought about the idea of running for county freeholder because we had so much happening in the area, and I really wanted to be a part of the solution for the change and the evolution happening here in Atlantic County. So I decided I was going to run for county freeholder office, and at that time, freeholder Will Pauls was on the freeholder board, and
wasn't he leaving?
He did. He had to leave. And so I was appointed to his seat to fill the term, and then was blessed to be successful in that election, and have now been serving on the freeholder board for the last 3.5 years. And in January became the first ever chairwoman of the Board of Freeholders in our almost 183-year history now. So
that is huge.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy, but very exciting, very humbling, a huge honor. And I'm really just trying not to screw it up now, Thelma.
Right. I don't think you will. You have a little experience behind your belt. I do want to say, how is it though? You know, this is a male-dominated society, and my grandsons who are younger say, "Oh, all the women hate the men." I say, "No, I don't. I have a father, I have brothers, I have y'all. I don't hate men."
Exactly.
You know, but it's time. It's time for women to carry certain roles, you know, in certain positions.
I agree. It is time, and that's kind of what Freeholder Formika said to me at the end of last year, who was the former chairman.
Right.
And he called me and he said, you know, I think it is time, and I'd like to nominate you for that position. And I think I almost fell over, you know. But, you know, nobody hates men. I have been very lucky and blessed to have a lot of great men who have helped pave the way, and who have stepped out of the way in some cases to make that path for, you know, young females coming up. And so we need that. We need to be working together to make those strides in any, you know, context that we could be talking about. But we do things differently. You know, we do things differently. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I've noticed, is that there will be some things that, you know, some of the guys will get a little bit crazy about. And I'm just like, what are we talking about? You know, but there's other things that, you know, we might get as females might get worked up about. And and it's all about a difference of perspective.
Right.
We have a diversity of thought. We all have a diversity of experience. And it's about how do we bring all that together, making people understand your viewpoint, having respect for that on both sides, and then trying to come up with, you know, solutions to problems that we're all trying to solve.
Absolutely. Now, people may not know this. You are a football person.
Huge fan.
Eagles. Of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Don't make me start doing a chant here right now.
I'm not. But I know that's my team too.
Okay.
And we had discussed that before, because you go tailgating and all of that.
I do, yeah. I got very lucky, and I won't tell the whole story unless you really want me to, but I got really lucky prior to the Super Bowl winning season. I had been on the season ticket holder list forever, and I got season tickets going into what became that season. So I like to say that I brought the luck that year for us to go to the Super Bowl. But it's interesting, again, never set out to be, you know, this person who's, you know, doing things that are, I guess, viewed as maybe feminist sometimes. I'm just trying to do the right thing. And I got into fantasy football a few years ago. At work, and really enjoyed it. And I had so many women come to me saying that they wanted to play fantasy football so they could be more interested in the other games, and also kind of talk with their husbands or spouses or partners about, you know, things going on, but they were too hesitant to get involved and ask questions. So I started a female fantasy football league. And now I have 3 leagues of women.
I
have almost 40 women playing fantasy football.
Now listen, I thought I knew everything going on. I didn't know that.
You learn something new every day, right? Yeah.
So,
we just wanted to give the opportunity again for something that we're all passionate about, and you might feel timid about it. We want to clear the way, and that's something that I've worked on, whether it's in policy making, professional life, or even in football life.
Absolutely. So we want to start talking about some of the things that goes on in Atlantic County.
Yeah.
What the Atlantic County freeholder, what are their responsibilities?
That's probably the number one question that I think all of us on the board get is, what the heck is a freeholder? So the best way I like to describe it is how every town has a town council.
Right.
Every county has a county council. And in New Jersey, we call those the Board of Freeholders. And so we are the legislative body in the county, and we are the checks and balance, essentially, to the executive body, which is our county executive, Dennis Levinson.
Right.
And so a lot of the times, the administration will send things to us, and it's our job to say, yay or nay, we agree with this or not. And a big piece of that is the budget. That's a big thing that we all have to work together on to say, this is where we want to spend our money, how we want to spend our money. And it's that's our biggest probably responsibility, because we have a lot of taxpayer dollars in our hands, and we need to be responsible with it.
You're right. Now, a lot of people say that, because I've been in politics for a little while.
Yeah,
too.
You have.
And people will say stuff like, we want to save the taxpayers money. Mm-hmm. We got to be fiscally responsible.
Right.
Everybody says that, especially during election time, on or before. But what actually is that in dollars and cents? How are you really saving the taxpayer?
Yeah, so there's so many ways that happens. I could probably, from a county level, it's a little bit different than a municipal level.
Right.
County level, we have so much funding that comes in from federal government, from state government for various programs, and it's really about effectively administering those programs so that we are, number one, getting the most for our money, and number two, we are using what we are allocated and not losing, money, which could mean services to people. Other things that it could go into is, what are we buying?
Right.
What are we spending money on? Are we going to invest in? Are we going to do capital investment into, building buildings or buying vehicles and things like that? One of the biggest things that we recently decided to do
was buy vehicles.
Well, we do buy vehicles.
Y'all bought a lot of new vehicles lately. Recently.
Yeah, I mean, we have to replace public works equipment, things like that. Yeah. But one of the biggest things we've done is, we financially backed Stockton in Atlantic City. We financially backed the development of the National Aviation Research and Technology Park just down the street from where we're sitting here. And those are the types of things that we've decided we need to make investment in so that we can create a new future for Atlantic County. When we talk about, Stockton, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was going to say, how did you saying you backed that? Was that through federal dollars, or was that county money?
That was the county's bonding position.
Oh, wow.
In conjunction with, we have the Atlantic County Improvement Authority that we fund. We have the Atlantic County Economic Alliance that we fund. And these are the entities that are out there considering what investments do we want to make, and also trying to attract new developers and new employers to our area. So, let's talk about the Research and Technology Park. We decided 3 years ago, there was a study done, the Angelo Economic Report.
Right.
A lot of people may have heard of it or read about it on the internet.
They've been around a little bit.
Yeah. And so, one of the things, and I think it's obvious to all of us, is we have to get away from gaming as our primary source of industry in Atlantic County. And so one of the things that stood out is our hidden gems around aviation. We have the airport. We have the FAA Technical Center here. We weren't capitalizing on them enough. So The Economic Alliance has been our partner, and we created that group to implement this plan, and we have now created this aviation hub. And we took a chance on saying we're going to back the funding of this building as a county, with no employers lined up yet. So our thought was, if we build it, they will come, and now they have. That building is now full of new employers, educational institutions that are going to come. And our goal is to establish a new aviation industry that not only means new work for people, but we're talking about highly skilled jobs, high-paying jobs. We're talking about engineering jobs, mathematics, technical jobs. So that's our focus with the park. We have Embry-Riddle University, who is the first and foremost in aeronautical research. They're down in Florida. They are now up with us as a partner in helping to put all of this together. We've brought all of the superintendents together across the county to develop specific curriculum around STEM that will create the workforce for this new industry. So when we talk about budgets and financials and where we're going to spend money, it's thinking about what is that long-term strategy? What does it mean today for you as the taxpayer? How does it impact you today? And how does it impact you tomorrow?
Now, most of educational places like Stockton, they don't pay taxes.
No.
Right. So the aviation project, do they pay taxes?
So that building is owned technically by the Atlantic County Improvement Authority, which is a government entity. So no. What the goal will be for that building is that it will become self-sustaining. So as the new people coming in pay rent on their space, it pays back the loan on the building to the county. And then once that's done, hopefully we turn it over to, I think what will become the Aviation Research Technology Park kind of governance group.
Right.
But, again, thinking about it a little bit longer term, not so much can we get tax revenue from this property, but can we get people coming here and staying here with jobs that, have them be able to buy a home or to maybe be able to start a small business that they want to focus on something, niche. That's where we get that tax revenue
from that
from that broader benefit. But we want to make sure people are working. We want to make sure people are able to grow here. When you go to college, we want you to come back here
and not leave
and enjoy this. I mean, we have such a treasure down here in South Jersey, but it is a destination. You have to make a decision to come here. It's not like you drive through here.
No.
And so we have to make it a place that you want to come, you want to stay, you want to live, you want to grow. And I think you and I both feel it as people who were raised here. We know what we got special in that special sauce here in Atlantic County, and we just need to make sure we're getting that out to everybody so that they come be a part of what's happening here.
Right now, talking about the airport, now you can't talk on it, but there's some talk about taking that from us and letting it go to the Port Authority. What are your thoughts on that?
So when we say take it from us, Atlantic County doesn't.
We don't own it, but
it's operated right now by the South Jersey Transportation Authority,
right?
And we're looking at, actually we're not looking at it, but a whole host of people, stakeholders, are looking at. Does it make sense for a different operator to operate it, and that would be the Port Authority. There's pluses and minuses to both. Right. South Jersey Transportation Authority has a long history here with us. They're experts in the property. They know what has and hasn't worked in the past. The Port Authority maybe brings a fresh perspective, maybe brings new contacts, maybe it brings new relationships, new opportunity. I don't know the answer to that question.
That's okay.
I do think we did as a board, we did pass a resolution saying that we supported the exploration of the idea. And I think that's where we're at, is an information gathering stage as a stakeholder there's many other stakeholders. And, you got to have all the facts before you can make a really good decision. I think that's where we're at.
I agree with that. I'm just, I'm not going to say sick and tired of it, but I'm tired of people coming into our community and telling us what we need to do with the stuff that's in our community. We have leadership.
We do.
And, so I feel as though that the leaders, now things can get improved. Maybe we're not using everything and maximizing it to its total potential. However, could we go to the Port Authority and take over that?
No. When we say we, I mean the South Jersey Transportation Authority?
South Jersey Transportation Authority.
I don't know. I don't know if they have that expertise to handle what the Port Authority does.
But that was a good political answer. But I'm just saying, that a lot of times everybody can look at Atlantic County.
Yeah.
Atlantic City, Pleasantville, or the Western End and say, this is what we need here, but you don't live here.
I hear you, and I think as those of us who do live and breathe here every single day, I think we are the experts. But like anything, it's also okay to ask for help, and it's also okay to get that, that external viewpoint and that external experience. If we put ourselves in a bubble, are we going to ever really grow? So that's why I think it's okay to ask the questions and to have the conversation. It could go nowhere. But I think it's okay we got to have the conversation to come to understanding in any topic.
Well, that's what was happening in Pleasantville. You're a freehold, over the whole county.
Yeah.
But there was a question with the sewage company. With the water being taken over, or, I'm not going to say taken over, but they're exploring. And there was a lot of outcry. It's been there for 60-some years, and they haven't had no new infrastructure to it, and now someone's going to come in and take over.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on in Atlantic County.
The utility question is happening all over the place.
It is.
Egg Harbor City is also going through the same kind of questions right now with regard to their utility authority. Heck, in Hamilton Township, we even thought about at some point, is it worth dissolving the authority and rolling it into government? That there's a lot of nuances there that come with how utilities can budget versus how a municipality or a county can budget. And there's a lot of nuances of a ratepayer versus a taxpayer.
Right.
How are we spending the money to upgrade infrastructure or not? So that is a whole, we could probably spend a whole nother day on that topic. That one is really more purely a financial decision versus when we talk about the airport,
right,
we're talking about strategy, in terms of our overall strategy as an area. What is the right thing for us to thrive as an aviation hub? And I think whoever answers that question should be the one who's operating the airport.
Well, that's a good point. that's a good point, and that's a different perspective and a different way, to look at it.
Yeah.
And so we do need to explore, but I really believe that there's nothing wrong with exploring.
Right.
But if people front you the money because it's a financial decision, you eventually have to pay that back.
You do. You got
to pay that back.
Again, that goes back to what are we doing today? How does it impact you today? And what's happening tomorrow? We talk about the casino pilot bill that we're in the midst of right now.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
again, we're going to say that for after our break.
All
we're
right.
getting ready for a break. Keep it locked. You listen to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon.
Dr. Bobby Jones, and features keynote speaker, multi-Grammy and Stellar Award winner
winner, Bishop Marvin L. Sapp, on Saturday, September 14th, 4 p.m. at the Winsand Community Life Center, 353 Southview Road, Pleasantville, New Jersey. You can join us, enjoy a buffet dinner, interact with our host, the Ambassador, Dr. Bobby Jones, and hear an awesome word from our keynote speaker, Bishop Marvin L. Sapp, for a donation of $100. Again, the donation is just $100. And for those of you who want to purchase a patron ad for South Jersey's biggest gospel celebration of the year, the deadline has been extended to September 1st. Again, the patron ad deadline has been extended to September 1st. For tickets or patron ads, you can contact 609-641-8870 or wehavegospel.com, or even email us at wehagospel887@gmail.com. Once again, for patron ads or tickets, that number is 609-641-8870. Our website is wehavegospel.com, and our email is wehagospel887@gmail.com. We are Christ-centered, community-focused, listener-supported WEHA.
Between my 2 kids and my husband, we spend a lot of time at our AtlantiCare Urgent Care Center.
AtlantiCare Urgent Care Centers are located throughout South Jersey, staffed with board-certified providers, registered nurses, and X-ray technologists. We provide care for non-life-threatening emergencies and illnesses 7 days a week without an appointment. X-ray and lab services on site.
It's the urgent care I know I can trust.
For locations, visit atlanticare.org/urgent.
Do you have an event coming up and need a facility? Well, let me tell you about Atlantic County's newest banquet facility, Beacon Hall, located in the heart of Egg Harbor City, right off the White Horse Pike. Beacon Hall is a full-service banquet facility that is 5,000 square feet with an attached parking lot. Book your conferences, book signings, birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, weddings, repasts. No event is too big or too small. You can book your next event by calling us at 609-965-4255 or email us at bookbeaconhall@gmail.com. That's BOOKBEACONHALL @gmail.com. Try Beacon Hall, where we turn moments into cherished memories.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. John Regis, and I am president of Reliance Medical Group. Reliance Medical Group has been in this community for over 35 years, providing quality health care to residents of Atlantic County and the state of New Jersey. Reliance Medical Group is one of the largest minority-owned businesses in the state and definitely the largest in South Jersey. We have over 23 office locations in 5 South Jersey counties, over 150 employees, and over 40 doctors and nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and midwives. Reliance is proud to announce that starting August 19th, we'll be hosting Medical Mondays right here on WEHA Radio. Medical Mondays will feature healthcare topics that are important to you in this community. So join us August 19th, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. for Medical Mondays. Our first series of shows will be on pediatrics, children's healthcare, because as we all know, it's that time of the year, back to school. So join us every Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. right here on Gospel 88.7 FM, WEHA Radio. Thank you so much and be well.
Would you like to hear your company or church announcements or church broadcast on the airwaves of WHA? You can call our business office at 609-641-8870 for further details.
If you just tune in, you're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WHA Gospel, 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. This broadcast is being brought to you by the Hawks Family Businesses, who's been in our community for over 30 years, for Beacon Hall, turning moments into memories, and Polis Development Corporation. Now, my guest is Chairwoman Freeholder Amy Gatto. And now we got to go on a marathon.
We do.
Of things. This time flies. Time just flies.
It does.
All right. So we're going to, a couple of things that are going on in the community.
Yeah, we ended. I'll go into the couple things happen in a minute, but let me just close out that conversation on the county pilot if I can really quickly.
The county pilot with the casinos, because
it's a big question.
Because it seems to me that every time that we give a pilot program, they get all these tax breaks. Now maybe that's not the case. This particular time.
The casinos did. They got a nice tax break on this one.
And I just read in the newspaper how they had a huge profit.
Right.
In July.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
So, unfortunately, the county has had to refund, I think it's been about $78 million over the last couple of years due to casino tax appeals. And that's how the casino pilot legislation kind of came up, And then once the pilot legislation happened, the percentage that the county would get didn't end up in the legislation, which meant we could have been at risk to lose $40 million without that being defined. So the county went ahead and actually sued the state. We took the state to task to say, you can't do this. You got to put the percentage in because we need to make sure that we are getting some share of what we should be getting from these casinos. So we did. It cost us approximately $260,000 to litigate that, but we won, which gets us approximately $35 million in what we expected to be getting from
a year.
No. Over the course of the pilot. So that's 10 years.
10 years.
Where we could have lost $40 million.
Right.
Now, the other big deal is the casinos got taken out of Atlantic City's rateable base, which is what, when you strike the tax rate, really also impacts people. And at the same time, so now the casinos are frozen in what they're going to pay via the pilot for this 10-year period. But they're growing and they're thriving, which is great, but we're not going to see any of that benefit until this pilot legislation is over. So it's something people need to be paying attention to and seeing what's happening. But it is something that impacts us across the entire county, which is why we are working to diversify ourselves away from just the gaming industry.
Right.
So,
because the taxes of the people are still going up. That's not going down.
Well, we're trying. The county's budget this year is $5 million less than it was last year, and so overall, so that means the amount we're collecting by taxation is lower. Galloway Township is also having a great year. This is the first year in I think decades that they are having a tax decrease across the board. So there's a lot happening there. But it does, these are the dollars and cents that impact people every single day.
What is the actual savings, though? When we talk about that, but what is that? Is that $100 savings per household, or what is it?
Yeah, so from a county perspective, our tax rate went down 1.9 cents, which should equal out, I think that equals out to like $190 per $100,000 assessed.
Right.
It's a complicated thing.
Right.
And I've always tried to figure out how do we make this simple for people to understand. But it really also comes down to where the equalized value comes out across all 23 towns as to how that looks for you personally. So, we can always sit down if any of your listeners are interested. I'm happy to sit down with anybody and just talk about what's happening in their town and how the county impacts that. But people also need to be paying attention to what's happening with their school boards, because that is a majority of people's tax bills, whether they know it or not. And that's probably the most important meeting they could be attending to understand what's happening with their tax dollars than any other meeting in the county.
Right.
Honestly.
But still go to the freeholder meeting.
Sure, absolutely. And I just want to highlight one other thing, because I'm sorry we're running up against time here, but big week happening in Atlantic City this week. It's Air Show Week.
Right.
A lot of people might not know, but this is the biggest event on the East Coast. That happens at this time of the year, and it's a really amazing thing that we have going here in Atlantic City. It's a jewel, and if people haven't gone, they need to. This year we have the British coming.
Really?
The fleet from the British Army are going to be flying. It's really cool, but we've done a lot of work this year with the Greater Atlantic City Chamber. They do a great job. CRDA, Senator Chris Brown, and New Jersey Transit. We all came to the table a couple months ago and said, we have these big events and we need New Jersey Transit to help support these events. We have so many people coming into the area. We need to make it easier. So New Jersey Transit, I'll give them the credit. It's been a rough year with them, but they stepped up to the plate. We had an additional train added in and out of Philadelphia for the air show specifically, and we're now working with them on a long-range plan to say, here's all of our events in Atlantic City. Let's talk about air show, beach concerts, things like that are happening, and saying, how can you support us so that not only are we successful, but you have the ridership. And we're also talking about other things to make sure that New Jersey Transit line doesn't go offline again. So a lot happening there. Stay tuned for that and make sure you go check out the air show.
That's Wednesday?
That is Wednesday. I
21st.
think they're practicing on Tuesday, and there's several events happening throughout the week with a lot of our veterans and veteran organizations that are in the area for that. Also, don't forget Taste of the Quarter at Tropicana Monday night, which is also a really exciting thing to go check out. Today, there's a lot happening. In Mitzpah, out in our neck of the woods, they're having their annual car show event going on. Go check that out. We have Egg Harbor City is having their second annual food truck festival starting at 2 o'clock. Tons of food trucks. Philadelphia Ave is closed for you to walk around and enjoy the day with your family. At 4 o'clock, there is a benefit at the Egg Harbor Township Elks. It benefits one of our veterans from the 177th who is a wounded warrior, and it is attempting to raise money for him to be able to go on a Wounded Warrior cruise. Wow. So go check that out. And then just one other thing I wanted to highlight on Tuesday, one of our Atlantic County corrections officers, and we operate the jail as the county, one of our corrections officers was actually hit on a motorcycle as he left work one night. And so there's a benefit for him on Tuesday night at Cousin Mario's in Mays Landing. It's, I think, at 6 o'clock. And if people could come out and show some support for him and his family, he will thankfully be okay. But he has got a very long road to Hull and a lot of injuries to overcome.
When are the Freeholder Board meetings?
Freeholders meet at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays at the Stillwater Building in Northfield. We're on our summer schedule right now, which is every other week we meet. In September, we will start meeting again weekly. We have been doing our first Tuesday of the month. We do a 6 o'clock meeting to try to enable different people to be able to attend. And we have a surprise for a September meeting that I can't announce yet.
Are you moving somewhere else?
We are. We have tried to move the meetings around the county so that, again, we're providing access to people to their government. It's very important to me. When I was in Township Committee, we started videotaping meetings, putting it online. We wanted that transparency for people. That's one of the things we've been able to do on the Freeholder Board. They're all now online on YouTube, and we're also moving the meetings around all 23 of our towns in Atlantic County. In fact, our next one, I think, is in Northfield, at Northfield City Hall. And we have a special location coming up in September, and I'll make sure you get the scoop, Thelma.
All right, so I wanted before breaking news, Lyndon Cohen.
Okay. You got it.
All right, I know you have to go.
I do.
And so I want you to leave something with my listening audience. I was at the Freeholder Board meeting a few weeks ago. There was a big discussion on immigration.
Yes.
Is that going to be vamped or?
I don't think the resolution's going to come up again. I know we had the county executive actually had a really great meeting with the Hispanic Alliance, and we talked about some of the frustrations that they had with it. I think the important thing for people to know is there was absolutely zero ill intent there at all. It was not meant to be divisive. In fact, it was meant to try to elicit some sense of security and safety to people. And I understand it didn't come across that way. And so, again, from this, we're taking away good conversation, learnings, and we're all going to be better for it at the end of it. So I don't think you're going to see it come back up, but hopefully we'll see some really good outcomes come from it.
Absolutely, because they're not the only immigrants.
They are not. Hey, listen, I'm a proud Italian. I'm a member of Unico. And very proud of my family heritage, and I think we all are. I think we all are proud of our family heritage. We each bring something to the table that's unique, that we're proud of. I think it's absolutely okay for us to celebrate that, and it's also okay for us to help people see what's important to us. And again, it's all about respecting that.
Exactly.
It might not be your thing. You might not agree with, something that one culture is into versus another, but let's just respect it and learn from it and live together. That's how this country started. So
absolutely. Yeah. I want to thank you so much
for
coming to be a part of my program. You're a busy woman, and thank you for taking out your time to come and be on my show. I hope you'll come again.
I would love to.
And we'll continue our different conversations and any updates. I definitely want to know.
You're going to get the break. You are going to get it, girl. I promise.
I want to know before Harry Hurley and Linda Cohen,
great,
the breaking news on where the Atlantic County special location is going to be, so I can make sure that my listening audience.
Absolutely.
I don't care if we all know it at the same time, but I just I want to be able to break the news at the same time.
If I could just throw one other shout out, if people want to, talk to me a little bit more, on Facebook, Freeholder Amy Gatto, on Instagram as well, Freeholder Amy Gatto, and you can always call over to the Freeholder offices, and we're happy to help and accommodate you. There's so many services out there in Atlantic County people are not taking advantage of.
Because they don't know about them.
Because they don't know about them. So visit our website, call us, and we'll get you the information for whatever you need.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day
and
the rest of the summer.
You too.
Well, you heard it from Chairwoman Amy Gatto. We're going to continue with the announcements. I stated that I would let you know what was going on the end of the program on today. Of course, we want everyone to come to our annual banquet. Not annual, but our 10th anniversary benefit banquet, WEHA 88.7, 100.3 FM. And it's a tribute to gospel music. This is going to be held Saturday, September 14th, 2019 at 4 o'clock p.m. Our keynote speaker, multi-Grammy and Stellar Award winner, Bishop Marvin L. Sapp, and it will be hosted by Dr. Bobby Jones. All right, this is a black tie event, and it's going to be held at the Winsand Community Life Center, 353 South New Road in Pleasantville. For more information, you can call 609-641-8870 or go to our website, www.wehavegospel.com. The dinner is going to be a dinner. It's going to be served buffet style, and we're going to have a good time. So we want to see your face in the place, and we want you to come and support your favorite gospel radio station. I want to also congratulate attorney Yolanda Millville. She was elected as the national president of the NAACP Next Generation. So Yolanda is doing a lot of wonderful things, and certainly I want to congratulate her. Also, there's going to be a giveaway on Monday at 1 o'clock p.m. It Takes a Village backpack giveaway, and this is going to be held at the Stanley Homes Village Community Center, and that's 1539 Adriatic Avenue in Atlantic City, and that's going to be at 1 o'clock p.m. Also, on that same day at 12 o'clock p.m., First Lady Tammy Murphy invites you to an Atlantic City Faith Leaders meeting concerning her family festival that she's going to be having and her new initiatives that she has coming out on infant mortality. And this is going to be on Monday, the 19th at 12 o'clock p.m. and it's going to be held at the Grace Family Cathedral Church, 3901 Filbert Avenue in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Also on the 22nd, which is Thursday at 1:30 p.m., the Recovery Centers of America Lighthouse will be having a job fair, and that's going to start at 1:30 p.m. The address is 5034 Atlantic Avenue in Mays Landing, New Jersey. There is a lot of things that are going on today. There's something else that I want you to keep in mind. There's going to be some conversations today beginning at 3 o'clock p.m. at the Northfield Library. And it's going to be women talking about race and having conversations about race. So it will be some women from Atlantic County. And this is going to be held today at from 12 to 3 o'clock p.m. at the Northfield Library. All right, so that's, if you don't have anything to do, certainly you can go over there and support or hear what the conversations are going to be about. So that's really good. It's a collaborative, Atlantic County Collaborative for Educational Equity. They're sponsoring this workshop on today, and you can register. It's called the Women of Atlantic County Conversations About Race, Working Across Traditional Boundaries to Improve Outcomes for All People. And this will be, again, from 3 to 6 at the Audubon's Public Library of Northfield, 241 West Mill Road in Northfield. All are welcome. It's a free event. And for more information, you can visit their website, aceequity.org, acequity.org. So that's going on today. So there's a lot of things that are going on, and we want to be a part of anything that's going on, especially if it's positive in our area. So I wanted to make sure that my listening audience was well aware what was going on in our area. Now I've been talking about this for maybe the last 3 or 4 broadcasts, and I'm talking about the petitions to change the form of government in Atlantic County. I do want to say that the state was in Camden, they were in Patterson, they were in Newark, and the state is here in Atlantic City right now. But there was never a change of government. There was never a change of government. So I really don't understand why that's going on for trying to happen in Atlantic City. I'm against the petitions. I'm against people changing that. I'm saying don't sign it. Of course, it's your right to do whatever you want to do, but it's not, to me, in the best interest of the residents of Atlantic County if you sign the petition. Now, the petition will only allow it to get on the ballot, and so people can vote on it to change the form of government. What I am saying is we don't even want it on the ballot. We don't want that on the ballot. The people, the residents, have elected people to lead them in that municipality, which is Atlantic City. And if you don't like who's in office, vote them out. That's what. But we don't change the form of government because we don't like who's there. Now that's just my personal opinion. That's my observation. That's what I see. So we're not really wanting to hear about that right now. We just say no. Nancy Reagan said just say no. I know she was talking about saying no just to drugs, but I'm saying say no. If they change it in Atlantic City, if they get mad in the Western, in Buna, Mizpah, Weymouth, Egg Harbor Township, that'll never happen there. So we don't want it happening in Atlantic City either. So we want everyone to keep that in mind. Also, Grace Tabernacle, I want to give them a good shout out. Every Wednesday they have a food pantry from 1 to 3. And certainly they give out nice fruits and vegetables and all type of things. 224 Shaitland Avenue. If you're not doing anything, please go there. Also on today there is at Refuge Church of Christ, and I meant to have that up on. They're having a book bag giveaway and bouncies and all type of things on today. They're doing that off of Washington Avenue in Pleasantville, New Jersey. That starts at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. across from the graveyard. And I'm sitting here looking for the address and inviting people to come out there today. They have a wonderful, wonderful event every year. Health fair, all type of things going on at Refuge Church of Christ. Those are my friends. And I'm not just saying it because they are my friends, but they do an excellent, and I mean par excellent, health fair and community giveaway as well. So if you're not doing anything, you can go right on over to Refuge Church of Christ in Pleasantville at 10 a.m. shortly after my show is over with on today. Again, I want to re-emphasize, because it's coming up very soon, WHA 88.7, 100.3 FM 10th anniversary benefit banquet. And this is going to be wonderful. We all know Bishop Marvin Sapp. Never would have made it. I just had to say that. Without you, I would have lost it all. But now I see you were there for me. Now, I don't know if he's singing, but I do know he is a keynote speaker. He's a multi-Grammy and Stellar Award winner, and hosted by Ambassador, the legendary Dr. Bobby Jones. And I want to see your face in the place. I want to see your face in the place on that day. So again, you can call 609-641-8870 or www.wehavegospel.com. I've enjoyed this program today. Did you enjoy our program today? I know you did. Thanks for tuning in to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. We'll see you on next week.